All right. Good evening, everyone. I want to start by apologizing. I had a shtickle of a hectic day, and I didn't get to send the link out on time. So because of that, we're sort of like starting a bit late. Let's get down to business. Here we are. So the text is, let's just get on with hold on just 1 second. I want to. All right. So we were basically talking about um, the need to achieve Shleimus Lashon Kodesh, and Shleimus Lashon Kodesh is synonymous with Shmiras Sabris. When the tzaddik is, or anybody is getting a Shleimus Lashon Kodesh, he is zocha to me'or panim, his shiny face, illuminated face. And an illuminated face is one, whereas people that are that watch a person who is zecher to this madrega see themselves like in a mirror. They see how steep they are in in the opposite, in Tibgam. And we explained that we basically have three camps, as it were. We have the camps of Kedusha, we have the camp of the Tuma, and we have the middle camp, which is the interface between the Kedusha and the Tuma. In fact, they're both sending forces into that middle area. This is where the battle is taking place. The Kedusha needs this battle in order to complete itself. It is through struggle, through hard work, that you actually are able to elevate yourself and reach the perfection that you need. We see this principle in a lot of Torahs and Likutei Moharan, as we see this principle in life, bechlal. I mean, you can't master any craft, any skill, without overcoming the obstacles along the way. In fact, when you have a goal, it's like building a shul, or buying a house, or doing anything. The minute you focus at that goal, the obstacles raise up. The obstacles are automatically issue related. They are related to the goal. If you decide that you want to buy a house, so the problems with getting the funding or whatever it is, the problems are always related to the goal. Once you have overcome those obstacles and you have acquired a skill, usually you are able to use that experience in order, let's say, to buy another house, or or to build another shul, or to do whatever it is that you need to do. In other words, once you have conquered the hill, okay, you know how to scale a hill. Now the thing is that that's the reason why the Loshen Kodesh, the Kedusha, must sift the goodness which is mixed up with the bad in the Klipas Noga, in this middle ground, and elevate it to the Kedusha. On the other hand, from the other side of the universe, as it were, come the Tumah. The Tumah needs to eat. The Tumah is a leech. So a leech needs to have a live, warm-blooded, pulsating victim. That's the Kedusha. All the life force flows through the Kedusha. There's no other source for life force, because Hashem is the one who gives life to everything. Now, the Tumah itself cannot touch the Kedusha. The only thing it can do is through an interface, through this Klipas Noga. Once the Kedusha gets down into the Klipas Noga, now you're talking about language. Now you're talking business. Now the Tumah has a chance to, win or lose. Let's fight it out. Let's. As long as the Kedusha is all the way inside the Bismedrash and is not, does not deal with it at all, so the Tumah cannot sustain itself. And the Kedusha does not improve. What we find out in Sefer Amidas, we find out in Likutei Moharan in a few places, is that this is a situation which HaKadosh Baruch Hu will not abide by. This world was created so that there will be this struggle between good and evil, Kedusha and Tumah, until the time comes to break down, to the Mashiach will come and the Tumah will give way to the Kedusha. That said, the Zohar Kodesh says, Hashem Baruch Chai says, Mefurish, that even in the times of, after the Geula, at the time of Mashiach, Yetzer Hara will still remain. He says, because without Yetzer Hara, there's no growth. Without a challenge, there's no growth. That which they crudely call no pain, no gain. If you don't fight, you don't advance. So there will be an advancement. Even in Olam Haba, where in Olam Haba there is really, there's said all the sacrifices, all the offerings are going to stop in the world to come, except Korban Toida. Only the thanks offering. Rabbeinu says in Torah Vav that the offering of Toida, that the inyan of Toida is the inyan of Tshuva of Olam Haba, because I have thanked the Kodesh Baruch Hu. I've thanked the Kodesh Baruch Hu only this much. Meaning, I can only thank Hashem commensurately with my awareness of the goodness that Hashem is bestowing upon me. There's just like, there's no way that we can even begin to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu in earnest, in with full heart, if we don't realize the good that He's doing with us, B, that we are basically aware that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is giving us, but we can't actually thank a Kadosh Baruch Hu. I mean, we say thank a Kadosh Baruch Hu, but Baruch Hashem, I have no, let's say, backache. Baruch Hashem, my back does not hurt. The question is, which vertebra doesn't hurt? For which vertebra am I thanking? Because each vertebra is a favor, each disc that doesn't bulge, every muscle that isn't strained, every nerve that isn't pinched, from the head to the toe is a tova niflo, is an unbelievable favor from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't know about you, but I have never found myself, going through a chart of the different vertebrae on the back and say a bunch of them, thank you for C3 and for D or whatever. I've never done that. Just thank you for my back. And just the matter is, if it doesn't hurt you, you don't even realize what unbelievable chesed is being done to you in your back. I went to the barber. Got a haircut. He basically got half my pay off. It was, going into and like quickly, whatever it is. And with all the oomph, there goes half a pay. What are you doing? I wasn't that nice about that. Afterwards, I made tshuva. I was just like, it's impossible. I said, if that's the way it is, then that's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it to be. I can't, so I asked Mechila, for giving him tsar. It never even dawned on me when I went to the barber that I should ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to please guard my payas. When I go down to the car, it doesn't dawn on me. I mean, yeah, whenever it is that I back out, I always ask the Kodesh Baruch Hu that shouldn't hurt anybody, and I myself should not be hurt. But we take so much for granted. It's only when there is lo aleinu, a certain tar, and then there is a salvation, a deliverance, that we're thankful. The inyan of Korban Torah of Olam Haba is we are going to step up and realize more the favors that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing with us. And we'll offer a new offering of thank you. And as we will reach, when you say thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is P'chinas tshuva al tshuva. You realize as a response, HaKadosh Baruch Hu responds to you by opening your eyes, and you see more what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing for you. So you're offering another Korban Torah, up to infinity. That's the way it works. That means that there is a shtickle Yetzirah, there's a shtickle Astora that will remain even in Olam Haba. It is necessary in order to leave us with an independent existence and not just be sucked into infinity. We have to keep our form. That's the tzimtzum. That's the gvuras. This is, a semblance of Yetzirah that will be in Olam Haba. We spoke about the fact that the tzad of the kedusha is called being awake, being alive. The tzad of the tumah is called being dead. The middle ground is called being asleep. Yeah. Beinu said many people, I don't know, he said that many people sit and learn Torah and Kaim Torah and mitzvahs all their lives. It's a very blunt saying. And they learn and they daven, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have an achas from them. Because all they're learning, all the avodah is pchinas sheinos, pchinas sleep. They're not awake. They're not challenging themselves. They're not aware. So he said, "Why Yosef, who was zecher to shlemus Lashon Kodesh, Yosef is the epitome. He is the symbol of Shmiras Habris, which is Shmiras Lashon Kodesh. That's the reason why he could decipher dreams, because a dream is a state of sleep. It's in the state of sleep that you have both truth and imagination and fantasy mixed together. When somebody is a truth sayer on the level of Yosef Tzaddik, when he's presented with a mixture of good and bad, he's able to tell what is what. And this is an important nakuda. It is our own vices that ensnare us. I don't know if you have. Excuse me. I don't know if this ever happened to any of you. It's something which is more common in America. You go to a city and a well-dressed person, decently dressed person comes to you and says, I was mugged by, I don't know, whatever, and they took everything that I had. They took my wallet, they took my ID, they took everything. Okay? I have absolutely nothing. I can't even call home. I can't do anything. So I tell you, I have here this wedding ring. It's made of gold. I paid, I don't know, $500 for it or whatever it is. I need to raise some funds. So do me a favor. I'll sell you this ring for $50. I don't know, it's $700, $1,000 ring, whatever that, $50, just so that I have a little money, whatever. Any normal person, i.e., any person who is not driven by greed/larceny, will realize that this is a hoax. Why would you sell $600-700 gold ring for $50. Go to the police station. Tell them you were mugged. Yeah, but I can get a $700 ring for $50, man. So who conned whom? Did that man con you? Or did you con you? The answer is obviously that he conned you, but your own vices, your own greed, the larceny in your heart is the thing that made you an easy mark. But if somebody has the decency not to enjoy and profit from the misfortune of another, such a person will say, okay, so why don't we get the police? Let's say, where's your wife? Let's go and call her. In which, the whole con would just fall apart. The same thing happens with almost every single pitfall. Every Avera has a gravitational pull. The mass that pulls is your own taiva, is your own vice. Yosef, there was to Shleimus Lashon Kodesh, which means by him, there was no longer a state of sleep. There's no longer a state of fantasy. There's no longer a state of... So you could very easily discern what's the truth and what's the fantasy. In Seif Hey, Rabbeinu says that what happens is that the existence of a person generates heat. That heat needs to dissipate. When the person is Zecher to Shleimus Lashon Kodesh, so it is the speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to speaking Diburim Shebekdusha, heated up Diburim that dissipate and cools you down, as it were. But if a person is not Zecher to Shleimus Lashon Kodesh, what happens is that the Ruach Sa'ara, the spirit of foolishness, slithers up through the interface of Targum, of sleep, and siphons off the life force from the Kedusha. And what happens is it's called Mikra Laila. It's called a nocturnal emission. Mikra is Lashon Kar, cold, chilled. If you don't chill the fire with Diburim of Lashon Kodesh, as it says, Cham libi b'kir b'dibarti b'lshoni, my heart is blazing hot inside me, and I have cooled it off with my speech. Or Chas v'chalila, it's Mikra Laila. When it's Shloshim Kodesh is perfect, which is Pchinas, if you remember, Pchinas Chava Isha. When Adam Arishon married Chava, the Mishnah says, Mikan sheniskarer datei b'Chava. His mind was, well, the translation basically means that he was cooled off, he was satisfied, he was calmed, he was satiated by Chava. The Lashon is very specific. Sheniskara daitei. His mind was cooled down. with Chava, Misha Lashon Kodesh, then is Shekorcha Baderech. This is said about Amalek. Amalek is the epitome of evil, of the Tumah. So in this little pasuk that says Asher Korcha Baderech, this is what Amalek did. We have the one who called you in something called a derech, a way. What is a derech, a way? Talk about. It talks about the relationship when it is not appropriate. It says, Ken derech isha min ha'efes. This is the derech of a woman that is being untrue. Sharuach Sa'ara goes through the Targum, it goes through the interface to the Kedusha, and it causes this damage. We explained that Elisha, the Rebbe brings another proof that the woman did not see Kerias Dinoi, that his sheets were all clean. He says, Kialdei Shlimus Lashon Kodesh, it is through the perfection of Lashon Kodesh, Ruach HaKodesh, Ruach HaKedusha, Yozechet to Tikkun Abris. Because, as Rabbeinu says, the main completion of Lashon Kodesh is through Targum, which is sleep. In other words, you sift the Lashon Kodesh, you sift the Targum, you take the good out of it, the Tardemo, and that saves you from Mikra Laila. Rabbeinu says as follows. V'zeh shebikesh David. And this is what David asks. Amal sefasemu yechasemu. Let's see what the Metzudah says. It says, Rosh Mesivi, the head of those who surround to catch me. This refers to Doeg Domi. Doeg Domi is the one that set it as a holy grail, if you want, for himself, to make sure that David HaMelech will never ever have anything to do with Malchus Yisrael. He should not be allowed Bichlal to be counted amongst Am Yisrael. It says Rosh Mesivi, the head of those that surround me, Amal Sfasemo, these lies that they tell about me, he and his cronies will cover them. In other words, he's saying, whatever it is that they want from me will come on them. So he says as follows. Rosh Mesibi, the head of those who surrounds me. This Pchinas Noiga lo Saviv. Noiga surrounds the Kedusha. Over here, Rabbeinu is explaining the pasuk b'derech of Soid Sheberemes. Rosh Mesibi, the Pchinas Noiga lo Saviv. This is the klipa, the closest to the kedusha. That's the one David HaMelech is asking for. Amal sfasemu yechasemu. The amal ve'ara shebo yisbotel. It will be covered. Whatever bad that is in the will be canceled and will fall and will cover. V'ashal esonos ha'amim. Both them and all the languages of all the nations. This is the flame of 70 stars, which is Taivas Niyuf. That's the overriding evil of all the klippas. And this is what David HaMelech asks. It says, the next pasuk says, Yemotu alem gicholim, let burning coals fall upon them. Ba'esh yapilim, let them drop into fire. B'ma'amuros bal yuchalu, in pits that they cannot possibly get out of. That sounds like uh, a hot-headed person speaking, you know? You know, those who tell all these lies about me, you know, let this happen and this happen to them, let, you know, coals fast, I'm making barbecue, let the coals fall on their heads. Whatever it seems that, you know, like an excitable person. But that's not at all what's going on. David the Melech here is Merames on a tremendous side, a tremendous secret that is embedded in this particular pasuk. Ki me'esh yotzu ve'esh tochlem. Because the tumah comes out of fire, and the fire will consume them. Because they, the tumah, the klipos, they come from esh. They come. This the klipas noga is the result of the three totally tumah the klipos. Ruach sa'ara, a storm wind. Onan gadol, a great cloud. Ve'esh mislakach, a self-taking fire. That's why David HaMelech has asked that the fire will come from the Gvuras, from the supernal Gvuras, which is the source of them all, and will drop them and will defeat them. Because that aspect of Noigo, Shu Pchinas Targum, as we said before, we need to clean it out, we need to sift it. We need to take the gold out of the earth. We need to take the diamonds out of the rock. Shipola Rashaba, that the sand, the rock, the dirt will fall off. Vatov Shaboy, and the good in it, Yizbor v'yala, will be sifted and will be elevated. V'yanichla b'toch ha'kedusha, and will be included in the kedusha. Hainu b'loshen kodesh. This is the completion. This is how you perfect the Loshen Kodesh. You're using them in order to perfect the Kedusha. And the rest of the languages of the Amim, Shem Pchinas Ragam, or they are total evil, they have to be totally annihilated. In other words, let burning amber fall on them and burn them. This refers to a very special Nakuda, which happens during Erev Shabbos. This is the flame of fire. What happens is that every Erev Shabbos, every Rabbeinu explains this. Rabbeinu explains, what does it mean? It means ki be'erev Shabbos v'knisas Shabbos, right as Shabbos is about to come in. Now, during the week, the Malchus its legs are going into the tumah, because we say you have to work with klipas noga. You have to confront the klipot. Whoever it is that is coming out there into klipas noga to challenge the kedusha are not Mr. Nice Guy. These are the three klipot. This is the total tumah. They have to be annihilated. The malchut throughout the 6 days of the week, the malchus has a business. It has to go to the market, and it has to sift the kedusha and get it out of the tumah. Shabbos Kodesh, there's no birurim. Shabbos Kodesh, there's no sifting. The Melech Borer is also b'Shabbos. In fact, the Melech's Borer, interestingly enough, is the most difficult melacha to stay away from. Because Melech's Borer has to do with anything, everything. Has to do with clothes, has to do with books, has to do with shoes, has to do with your socks in your drawer. It has to do with absolutely anything. Unless you realize what are the laws of Boyer, You know, Eichel, the Yad, and the altar, and immediately. Now, the only way that you are allowed to be boirer on Shabbos is if you are boirer the food, in other words, that which you want to utilize from the psoilus, that which you don't want, which means, and I'll explain a bit more how it's shaykh and other things. And it has to be done with the hand. It cannot be done with a keli, with a tool. You can't use a peeler on Shabbos to take off the skin because you're taking psoilus from food, you're removing the psoilus from the food, and you're using a keli. And the third night is la'alta. In other words, you can do boirer if you're doing it for the coming Suda. As long as you are, even if you're doing, let's say, eggshells, okay, or you're taking the peels of an onion, okay, you are allowed to do this before the Suda, for the Suda itself. La'alta means for immediate use. What has it got to do with anything else? What it has to do with, taking your clothes out of the closet. You have to take the one you want. You can't take the ones you don't want. You can't take a whole pile of clothes and take, I don't want this, not this, not, oh, that's the one I want. You can't do that. You're overburdened. You go in shul, okay, and you say, I'm going to take a whole bunch of chumashim, and I'm going to put them by the side where people can take them, right? You're overburdened because you took them from the other Sfarim. What you need to do is you need to take one chumash, open it up immediately. I mean, because it's not le'alter, it's not for immediate use. You open it up and you use it, and you read something in it, and it's such a complex malacha. It's one of the most complex, almost impossible, unless you actually learn it real well. So what happens is that on Shabbos there's no brira, there's no sifting. So what the malchus does is it pulls its legs, its lower extremities, the netzach v'hod, from the kelipot. The kelipot had a toehold on the malchus during the week. So they figured, all right, now the malchus is going to go in. The door is going to be open. The portal is going to be open. And the port, somebody's just sent me whatchamacallit, a chat, and it says as follows. Shmiras Shabbos Kilchosa says every fruit that its klipa can be eaten. He says you can use keli to peel it on Shabbos because basically I understand you're separating food from food, so you can do it with a tool. Uprisha and klipas on and a peel that is not eaten, such as, I don't know, potato or something like this, you are not allowed to use a tool, only close to the Suda and using your hand. Thank you, Neve, for the ha'ara. So what happens is, being that the feet of the kedusha of the malchus are going into the kedusha, the portal, to let the lower extremities in, is open. So the kelipot are trying to use that particular opportunity to go into the kedusha and actually suck from the kedusha itself and overcome the kedusha itself. That is the reason, my friends, that when the Enlightenment, their full movement, started in Germany. And they changed the Sidurim to say, they had Germans, members of the religion of Moses. And they changed the Sidurim in the Haggadah of Pesach next year in the built Berlin. And I know Reb Nosson writes about it, but what's his name? One of the Gdolim at the time said because they called Berlin, Yerushalayim, a fire will come out of Berlin and consume them all, and tzaddikim first. That was at least 80 years before the Holocaust or more. Nosson wrote it almost 100 years earlier. What happens is that the minute they grab a toehold of the bottom, it uses this opportunity in order to swallow up the entire kedusha. It's not a small thing. It's like, oh, listen, they're just kidding themselves. They're thinking that, they think they're going to come to the kedusha. They're going to get their shower of fire on their head. It's an extremely serious business. So he says, "Va'az roitzim gam shara klipos, the other klipos tmeos, the totally tumadik klipos, they want to go up to the kedusha." What happens then? That a fire comes from above on their head, and they fall down. And this, mind you, is the secret that you should be mechavan, you should hold to yourself, of washing in hot water on Erev Shabbos. The Kavonas Arizal, they say that you're going and you're taking a hot shower, that the fire, the hot shower that comes down is a bechina of those gechalim that fall down, that come down and dump the klipos into the pit. It's called Nukva de Homarabba. That's their source. That's their mother source, as it were. This is where the female of the Samach Mem calls home. It's called the Nukva de Homarabba. It's called the female of the great female pit, which is the wife of the Nachash, of the snake. He says, and this is the bechina that you have to be mevar the tov in the Targum, which is noiga, that will be included in Lashon Kodesh. And the rest of Lashonas Akum, which is totally bad, do you have to make them fall, and you have to be mevatel them completely. So what I want to just see here that another knife is considered as a hand. The gabe inyan of boyer. The important nakuda that I wanted to sort of like talk about here is, I'm trying to get this thing. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. There is a nakuda where we are all meeting here. We're talking about very beautiful principles of fighting against the klipos and doing this and doing that. And it's great. It's totally great. That's the way things should be. But there's one little problem. There's one little problem which we need to sort of like awaken ourselves to. I think this is a very good word. What happens is that we can talk the talk until the cows come home. Basically, we're dealing with whatever it is that's going on in our lives in a hodgepodge kind of manner. I mean, which is great. Don't get me wrong. This is wonderful. This is anything good that you do is gewaldic. It's incredible. More power to you. Continue. Rabbi Nosson speaks about it and says everything that you do, if it only saves you from one avera, one less thought of a taiva, by the time you're done with this world, it's kedai. So I don't come to chas v'chalila to denigrate any kind of effort and any ma'aseh which is being done. Chas v'chalila. The main thing that I'm trying to say is it behooves people like you and me to sit down, I don't know, in the morning, the evening, whatever it is, in the midst of, the shurim that we have and whatever it is that we do, and take a piece of paper and write down all the things that I'm struggling with. Not that you should write about my struggles, you should write about yours. What can I handle? It could be a lot of things. It could be a shlem bayis. It could be heavy-handedness. It could be being sucked into running after the behemoths. It could be a lot of different things. It could be waking up in the morning. It could be davening without kavana and don't even wanting to daven with kavana. It could be whatever it is. Be a professional about it. Write yourself a list. Put it down on paper. The one thing that it will do is it will put some order into the chaos that's going on inside you. Because right now, you have a feeling that there's probably almost nothing good that you do. Yeah, you do some good things, but basically, when nobody's watching, you're really like, and it's not so. It's not so. That's not real cheshbon nefesh. If you were actually to put down on paper all the things that you need a Kodesh Baruch Hu to help you with, be mesudadik about it, be systematic about it. And this you can take to Esbaididus. And you deal with it one after one after one after one. That's the way to do it. And you'll be sure, you'll be certain that the minute you get into it, you have all kinds of different things coming up, hiding the Kedusha from you, trying to drag you down and whatever it is. That's okay. That's their job. Our job is to know that Baruch Hashem has not left us. He has sent us this gewaldige tzaddikim who we can lean on their koyach to the point that if it wasn't for them, what are you making lists, man? You're ridiculous. What lists are you making? Just live your life and be quiet. No, because we have the koyach of the tzaddik with us, we can work on these things. We need to work on these things. And more will be peeled. Because once you solve the New York Times Sunday puzzle, word puzzle, you get another one. Once you solve that one, you get another one. And you're going deeper and deeper. You're zeicher more and more. This kind of list that you're making is an inyan of Shleimus Lashon Kodesh. You're writing down, what do I have to work with? What do I have to ask for? What don't I want? What I don't even want to touch. Write a list. Once it's on paper, you'll notice a tremendous ease, because you won't have this weight on you of how inadequate you are. You realize, no, you put it down on paper. These are the issues that I need to solve. That's it. Everything else is good. And then when you make us bury this, you realize those difficulties are there because I want to come to the Kedusha. Those difficulties that were given to me by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which means there's no agaval, there's no, in case of emergency, break glass. Talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu about it, because the Kodesh Baruch Hu put these problems there. Because that's what you need to handle. That's what you need to do. Call it project management. Call it whatever you want. It also has another hidden quality. When you write things down, you are basically telling yourself, I can handle this. Because when somebody has despaired of being able to handle the items in his life, the derech hateva is that he just takes the bills and puts them in the drawer and doesn't even look at them. What good will it do? I can't pay this is anyhow. What have I got to look for? What do you want to make a list? Make a list for what? So I can find for myself, how inadequate I am. It works the other way around. When you make the list, you actually are making a statement to yourself. These are the problems that the Kodesh Baruch Hu has given me to solve, which means I can solve them. The minute I make note of them and I make a list, it means I intend to address them at a certain point. Maybe I can, maybe I cannot. Okay, I'll take it to Kodesh Baruch Hu. We'll daven, we'll ask. Beseder. It's not a two-tone truck hitting you in the middle of Chas v'Chalila, middle of Ironoway. There's certain things that you need to accomplish. And then, to-do list, and you cross one after the other. What you can handle, you handle. What you can't handle, you keep on asking Kodesh Baruch Hu to handle. The whole thing you have to ask Kodesh Baruch Hu to handle for you. But it's actually a cry of freedom. It's actually a declaration of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me, the Tzaddik is with me, the Torah is on my part. Whatever it is that is right next to me, I can handle, because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu will never give me anything that I cannot handle. And if he gives me something I cannot handle, that means I don't need to handle it. Wow. Yeah. There's a limit to what I can do. I won't get freaked out. I'll just ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono Shel Olam, do me a favor. You take care of it for me. And if I can't take it, okay, beseder, Ribono Shel Olam, I'm doing what I can. I'm asking, I'm trying, I'm failing, I'm trying, I'm failing, whatever. Everything that happens in the meantime is okay. You are okay. Because you are osek b'tshuva. You are osek in shlemus lashon kodesh. You're osek in sanctifying yourself. With the koyach of the tzaddik, you bevadai will all be successful, b'ezrat Hashem. Bevade, without any doubt. Bezrat